I want you to take the floor. So it's kind of how this works. You don't have to do the intro with me, but I want you to walk through your kind of like, this is what I say on my intro, and I want you to walk us through your sales process. And you can, put more value in some places, kind of walk through your thought about underwriting. How do you pitch options? How do you close? Any little tips and tricks? I'm gonna let you have the floor, brother. You can kind of freestyle it. You're talking to a new agent. They're like, yo, I want to be able to close, 7 out of 20 leads of my 15 appointments. The floor is yours, bro.
Honestly, veterans are very straightforward people, very cut and dry people. They appreciate transparency. I will open that up in the call. So once I get through my intro, and I'll keep it short and sweet, it's really not complicated. I say, hey, so and so. Hey, so and so, this is Tristan, the Veterans Life Specialist, getting back to you. I got that request you submitted to my office for the Veterans Life Insurance and those benefits. You did list here you served in the Army. Is that correct? Okay, perfect. And then I also have them confirm their MOS for their main duties and then their years of service. Just to build a little bit of credibility. It's not super important, but it is kind of quick. And then they understand, that I'm a real person. I'm probably not a
Pause,
robot.
pause for 1 second. What is MOS for the person that does not know?
Yeah,
Just
main duties. So 19 Bravo, like what they actually did in the military, whether they were a mechanic, infantry, something like that. It's what their service was in the military, like what their actual job, or I guess you could say title in the military was.
for those that are listening, and I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. So please hold your train of thought. For those that are listening, that is instant credibility. Instant credibility. It's something that they know, it's something that they relate to, and he sounds like a professional. He doesn't sound like a robot. He sounds like a professional. I don't want that to go over anybody's head. You can keep going, brother. I just wanted to put it there.
It truly is super important. It does build a lot of credibility. And if you have no idea what the military is like and you don't say that, I feel like they're going to think, you're not that they assume I'm a veteran, but they're assuming I don't necessarily know anything about them or I don't care about them in that type of way. So I think that is important. But as far as that, I mainly just ask, what's your biggest concern behind this request? Just are you more focused on covering your final expenses for said beneficiary or leaving something to the family? Just kind of dig deeper with me. What was your biggest concern so I can understand, where you're coming from? And then from there, they'll just open wide open for you and pour everything you need as far as that goes. Outside of that, like it's really straightforward type of people. I've talked to several. I quite literally closed one while we were at convention. And the guy told me from the get-go, and I'm kind of going off track, but he told me from the get-go, I don't want any sort of 2-year waiting period, blah, 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 blah. These veterans are very direct people. They've been yelled at and screamed at by their drill sergeant 1,000 different times. And so you kind of have to give them similar energy and just get straight to the point. So I told him, I let him tell me his issues and what he was going through in the past with life insurance, trying to figure out what I can do differently than the last 3 agents. Because there's a reason they didn't buy the first 3 times. Now you have to figure out why and what you can do differently. I think that's super important. I just told him straight up, I said, I appreciate you sharing that. And if you don't mind, because this is how I am and how I treat all the veterans, I'm very straightforward and very transparent. I do not like to beat around the bush. So if you don't mind me being direct with you, that's what I'm going to do. Does that sound good? He's like, oh, by all means, please freaking do. And he was cussing up a storm too. And from then on, it was pretty gold. Now, I stole this from one of our agents within our agency who just came over recently. She's been in the business for a while. Shout out Destiny. She has this intro. Once they pick an option, obviously I'm going to review their options based off of their budget, obviously their age and their health. As far as picking the company, it's really just, I wouldn't say by luck. I mean, I've been doing it for a while. So now that I've been doing it for so long, I've gotten so many reps and I just know where to go. But primarily making sure I'm organized with the person. So after I figure out their main concern and then I get their medical history, then I pick the company and I'm making sure I'm ready to go. Like I'm multitasking. I think that's really big. I see a lot of new agents struggle with multitasking. You have to
Okay.
be able to talk to them. You have to be able to pull up the application and operate that application while still getting the value and importance out of that. Because obviously being efficient is going to help. And a lot of people appreciate that. That's our whole job, is to make it as stress-free and as less time consuming as possible. They don't want to be on the phone for hours. Make it as quick as you can efficiently. So once I do that, and then they pick an option, I'm saying, your first option, this is going to be your bronze, B option or C option. This is going to be your silver and your gold. And I go in depth with each of these options. Like I'm not just saying this is your option, this is how much it is. I'm going in depth, making it relatable to their situation. So they want to cover the funeral costs or the burial. Hey, this A option is going to be a great option to get your foot in the door. At the very least, cover the majority of those burial costs. That way, you at least have something in place. You're not running around naked. If that option is going to be this much for this much. Then same thing with the second one, your silver option or your B option. This is going to be your state recommended. Okay, this is going to cover all of your funeral costs, ensuring that nothing is left behind as far as a debt to your wife or the family. And that's going to be this much, this much. C option, gold option, whatever you want to do. I've done both, pitches as far as gold and silver, A, B, and C. But the last option, I typically tell them, I say, okay, now this gold option, this is, I think, a little more than what you need. So I don't typically recommend it. But if you are looking to leave a little bit more to the wife after the funeral costs, this would be an option for you. That option is going to be this for this much. And just to reiterate as well, based off the budget, say their budget is $100 a month. I'm going 100% of their budget, 75% of their budget, and 50%. Starting with 50% and building our way up. And it's not always to the exact dollar. It's like whatever's closest. If it's $52. Now, the biggest portion I feel like that has been helping me lately, especially with the veterans, once you tell them the whole direct pitch or whatever, you're being transparent with them, that's the type of person you are. I straight up tell them, like, okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to pull up this application. We're going to review your basic demographics with the life insurance company or said insurance company, whatever it is. They're going to go over your name, your age, your height and weight, your date of birth, a good mailing address to mail out the physical copy in the mail, and then a good email, and then a good phone number as well. Lastly, they're also going to add your social onto the policy to verify that you are a U.S. citizen, and then verify your medical background check or your medical records. And then I'll have a couple extra medical questions. You kind of already answered those for me, but I'll just have to review them shortly with you. Then we'll add your beneficiary, whoever that is you want it to be. Then we will add a draft date. This date is completely up to you. This whole process is tailored to you. So you get the availability to pick. That can be today. It can be next week. Something like that. I don't always say that, but you get the point. And then I say, okay, and then they're also going to require a form of payment. One, to validate that it is an active account and there's no fraudulent alerts or fraudulent charges on the account. Does that all make sense? Perfect. And then I just start moving through the application. I don't ask them, is that okay? Like I tell them, I tell them, like, this is what we're doing. And I grab their hand and I walk them through the application. And I don't think I've had a single objection saying, because they know what to expect. They know they're going to give out their social. They know they're going to give out their banking, and then I'm going to get them from point A to point B. That's pretty much everything.
That was fire, bro.